Hey everyone, this is Erin, one of the environmental educators from Wilton Wildlife Preserve and Park. Here at Wilton Wildlife, we are dedicated to preserving natural settings and ecological systems while providing opportunities for environmental education and outdoor recreation. Today, I'm going to be taking you along a virtual field trip of one of the habitats here at the Preserve and Park. You've seen the pond, you've seen the forest, so today I'll be taking you to the meadows. Let's go! The meadow we are currently standing in is a part of the geologically significant Saratoga Sand Plains. As you can see, our trails are very sandy. One of the main questions I get when I give these tours is, how did all the sand get here? Well, I'll tell you, that story starts about 95,000 years ago. 95,000 years ago, New York State was covered by a glacier known as the Laurentide Ice Sheet. A glacier is a slow-moving, massive sheet of ice formed by the accumulation and compaction of snow. They are formed over long periods of time, usually centuries. This ice sheet in particular was over 1 mile thick up into the sky and hundreds of miles wide in diameter. As a glacier slowly moves across a landscape, it will scrape across, picking up sediment along the way such as sand, silt, rocks, and clay. Of course, this glacier is no longer here, or else we would be standing under a mile of ice right now. So how did it disappear? As the Ice Age came to an end approximately 20,000 years ago, global temperatures began to rise, causing this ice sheet to completely melt and form Glacial Lake Albany. All the sedimentary materials that were caught up in this massive ice sheet sunk to the bottom and formed the lake floor. Once Glacial Lake Albany drained, its water drained through the Hudson River, other tributaries, and into the ocean. What was once the glacial lake floor is now the ground that we walk upon. Vegetation has grown in the area since, and the roots of these plants are what has held these ancient sand dunes into place all the way till today. Do you remember what a habitat is? A habitat is a place where an animal or plant can find everything that they need to survive. A habitat includes 4 things: food, water, shelter, and proper space. The meadows that we have here are classified as an oak pine savanna with just a handful of small oak pine trees, but the area is mostly dominated by bunch grasses and native flowers. This meadow habitat is characterized by hot, dry, sunny conditions and lots of open space. As you can imagine, a habitat that is hot and dry is going to be fire prone, meaning that this area is naturally prone to wildfires or has them naturally occurring. In order to live in this habitat, both plants and animals have had to adapt in order to survive. Do you remember what an adaptation is? An adaptation is a change that an animal or plant makes in order to better survive in its environment. One example of a plant that has adapted to survive this hot, dry, sunny, fire-prone environment is sweet fern. Sweet fern has a long, deep taproot that goes about 8 feet into the ground, which helps it soak up water that goes through these very porous soils. In addition, the leaves are covered with a resin-like substance that allow this plant to flash burn as a natural wildfire goes through. Flash burning means that the plant above the ground will burn very fast, allowing the fire to keep going, and it keeps the roots underneath the ground from cooking. Therefore, the following year, those roots, still viable, will be able to grow and produce another plant as we see here. Another example of a plant that has adapted to live in this fire-prone environment is the pitch pine tree. Pitch pines have an extra thick outer bark in order to protect the inner parts of the tree from a forest fire as it goes by. I have 2 tree cookies. No, you can't eat them. And this is a tree cookie or a slice of a pitch pine tree, and this one is a slice of a white pine. And I'd like you to see how much thicker the outer bark of our pitch pine tree is when compared to the bark of the white pine. The pitch pine has a much thicker outer bark, and it's going to protect them from any fire roaming through. An additional plant that has adapted to live in the meadow habitat is what you see here, wild blue lupin. This plant has several adaptations. The first one being its deep taproot. Just like the sweet fern, the lupin's taproot goes deep into the ground, and it's able to get any water that has fallen through these sandy, porous soils. Secondly is when they go to seed. Their seed pods will start off as green, and then throughout the summer they'll begin to dry up until they pop. And once they pop, that's this plant throwing its seeds over 15 feet in every direction, ensuring that there'll be more lupin in this area in the future. Found in 1861 just outside of Albany, the Karner blue butterfly is just about the size of a quarter. The wings of the male Karner butterflies are a deep blue with black and white edges. However, the females look much different. Females are more brown with orange crescents on the bottom parts of their wings. The underside of both the male and female wings are gray-blue with orange and black dots. Karner blue butterflies are commonly mistaken for eastern-tailed blue butterflies, which are also commonly found in this area. The easiest way to tell the two apart is that the eastern-tailed blue has little tails at the bottom of its wings. Do you see? Unlike the eastern-tailed blue, the Karner blue butterfly became federally endangered in 1992. Do you know what it means to be endangered? Endangered is when a population of the animal is so low that they are in danger of disappearing from Earth entirely. Their range was originally from Maine to Minnesota, but unfortunately, over 99% of their population has disappeared over the past 100 years. We at Wilton Wildlife Preserve and Park assist in the conservation or the protection of what is left of the Karner blue butterflies so that they will be around for generations to come. I hope you enjoyed virtually touring the meadow, forest, and pond habitats here at Wilton Wildlife Preserve and Park. Please visit our website, Facebook, or YouTube for more information and more educational experiences.